What is going on, everybody? Eric Sablon here from Become the Upline, one of the clever money makers, and it looks like I'm flying solo today. So all you got is me today. So hashtag live if you're coming in live, hashtag replay if you're coming in on the replay. And today, if you didn't catch today's training with Fabian, he's actually on his anniversary. I think it's 15 years, but he was driving from Miami to the Florida Keys. So he is in the Florida Keys right now, and David is with the family right now. So I'm holding down the fort. So really, really excited to go over this training with you guys that Fabian did. And if you didn't catch the training, do me a favor and scroll up. I'll actually drop it inside the chat later on. I'll drop it inside the chat because I'm the only one driving here. I'll drop it inside the chat so you can link back to that training from this afternoon. But he talked about 5 simple implementation steps to generate leads and book your calendar. And if you have any questions, drop the questions in the chat. If you have any questions on this topic of generating leads and booking your calendar, do me a favor and drop them in here, and we will answer those questions, or I will help answer those questions for you today. So again, Eric Sablon here, one of the founders of Clever Money Makers, and we do this Ask Me Anything every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we basically go through the group, ask them questions, figure out what they're struggling with, what their biggest struggle is, and we answer those questions for you. So if you have a struggle, if you have an issue, if you have anything that you want to ask, go ahead and drop it in the chat, and we will try to answer those questions. And so super excited. So I'm going to get started with the training right now. So it's 5 simple implementation steps to generate leads and book your calendars. Now, drop a 1 in the chat if you struggle with having your calendar full. Drop a 1 in the chat if having your calendar full would change your business. And that's a big deal. Because if you could change your business by having a book calendar, my mentor always tells me this: action cures everything. So if there's a lot of things going on, if there's a lot of stuff going on in your business, if your numbers are up, if you're recruiting more people, if you're getting more clients, more customers, if you're doing that, if you're getting more people to talk to, you're not on that fence like, I wonder what Joe's doing because he's my only client. Or I wonder what Joe's doing because he's my only prospect. So we're not going to do that. We're not going to sit there. So that being said, we're going to go into the training. Number 1 is drive awareness with engagement. And Fabian always says this all the time. It's be social on social media. Go out and like and comment and talk to people and create real relationships. Network on social media. Don't be spammy. I actually had to ban 2 people from the group today because they spammed a bunch of our links. They spammed a bunch of stuff. Literally the same copy and paste scripts were on a bunch of comments. And unfortunately, I had to ban them and remove them from the group. You don't want that. You don't want that feeling. So be social on social media. That's one of the biggest things. Like, one of the things that people say is, well, I feel like I'm selling. Well, if you're having a conversation, you're not selling. If you're looking for a problem, you're not selling. You're offering solutions. Like Fabian always says, be the doctor and diagnose the problem and offer a solution. And everyone that's out there like, well, I don't have all the solutions, just let Mickey Mouse be quiet, because here's the deal. Here's the really cool deal. You don't have to have every solution to their problem. You just have to have a solution to their problem that gets them a result. You need to have a solution to their problem that gets them a result. And people don't buy your product, your service, or whatever it is because you were a great salesperson. They don't buy the stuff that you do because you convince them. They buy what you're selling, what you're offering, because they want a result from whatever you're offering. So be social on social media and engage and network. Number 2, create your Epiphany Bridge story and practice it. Again, I know you've all heard this before. Facts tell, stories sell. How many of you guys have heard a story and literally, like, when you heard that story, you were so moved by that story that you're like, I want to get a little bit more information. And then you took the next step and you purchased something. That's why testimonials are so important. That's why social proof is so important. That's why whenever you you click on somebody's links or you do anything, you'll actually see like testimonials of results that people are getting from that, because there's stories behind that. And if we did a training about a week and a half ago, and if you go back to that training, we give you 8 steps to create your Epiphany Bridge story. I'm not going to run through the whole thing about the Epiphany Bridge story, but it'll give you 8 steps to create your Epiphany Bridge story. And here's the cool thing. If you go to that training, not only will we give you 8 steps to create it, but you'll also, I've created an automated tool, a bot, that basically asks you the questions. And when you answer the questions, it'll actually spit out your Epiphany Bridge story. It'll spit out exactly what the wall you hit, the epiphany you had, your internal struggles, your external struggles. Those are all little steps. Those are all little steps to that story. So if you want that training, if you want us to give you the link to that training, hashtag Epiphany Bridge, and we'll actually give you that training. We'll actually redirect you to that training so you can check that out. 5-day blitz. So we talked about driving awareness and engagement. So basically, we talked about filling your pipeline. And then we talked about creating your story. So now you have people, you have an audience, you telling your story. Now, step 3, we're going to go into what we call a 5-day blitz. And that's just engagement posts. And if you go back to the training today, that if Helen, if you could drop the link to the training, that would be awesome. If you could go back to the training, Fabian walks you through little steps, little tiny steps on exactly what you need to do, the kind of posts you can put. One of the posts that I put not too long ago is, how did we meet? How many states have you lived in? You want to reset the algorithm. And then tell your story. And then there's a call to action after that. So go back to that training and take a listen to Fabian, how he talks about that. The next thing is lead generation. And one thing, so once you've built your audience, you have people following you, you have people seeing your stuff, you have the engagement part going. And I want to tell you this. The engagement is key. It's like a muscle. It's like going to the gym. You just keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. And Fabian says, set aside 30 minutes a day to create that. And if you set aside 30 minutes a day and you're consistent with it, consistent over time, you're going to build a muscle that's going to make it very, very simple for you to do. So once you're consistent, thank you, Helen, for doing that. Once you're consistent over time, your pipeline is going to start to fill up. I want to tell you a story about consistency. I just finished reading a book called The Compound Effect. And if you actually go to a water pump, like where you have to pump water. So you pump it and 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 nothing comes out, right? Nothing comes out, nothing comes out, nothing comes out. And then all of a sudden there's enough suction that brings the water to the water from below you to the faucet, to the spigot. And then all you do is keep pumping. And the same energy that you did to bring that water to the table, you just have to maintain. And that's exactly what you're doing with your business. That's exactly what you're doing with there'll be spurts. Don't get me wrong. There'll be spurts and there'll be seasons. But if you maintain that and stay consistent and really, really just stay consistent with your business, just like staying consistent with, your engagement, your pipeline is going to be full. There's going to be water flowing all the time. Again, and then you go to your story. Step 2 is go to your story. Step 3 is the 5-day blitz. Step 4 is lead generation. So thank you, Helen, for dropping in that in there. Number 4, lead generation. Do you struggle with blank? Do you ever feel confused about blank? Well, if so, I created your solution, a solution. It doesn't have to be the solution, your solution. This is what we call two-step post. You're acknowledging that they have a problem, and then you're telling them to do something, and then you're going to deliver it. So drop a 1 in the chat if you're understanding what I'm talking about for delivery of, calling out their problem, calling out who you're helping, telling them that they have a problem, or bringing their problem to the forefront, and you offering a solution. So that is that part of the section. And then the last thing, number 5, master messenger. And we say this all the time, the money is in the messenger. If you're in conversations in Messenger, then that is the key to your business, because as people hit your messenger, you get to know, like, and trust them. They get to know, like, and trust you. You become an authority. You become an influencer. You become the person that people go to. And we have certain scripts, and I call them scripts, but they're really frameworks on exactly what to say to somebody as they come through. And it's not like a script like robot script. It's a script that there's a framework that these are what you want to do in this section is you want to pull something out. What you want to do in this section is you want to pull something out. What you want to do in this section is you want to offer them a solution. So it's not a script, but it's a framework. We have that. I'm sure Fabian will be dropping that in the next couple of days. It's called the art and science of conversation. One of the best trainings we've done, and that should be coming out soon. So master, messenger, and then we call it MTDO, which is make the darn offer. You never know if someone's going to say yes or no until you ask them if they want to buy. And for all of you guys out there that are like, I get really nervous about this. I get really nervous when it comes to like the transaction side and, asking them to buy and asking them for the sale. If you met somebody that you really like, if you met an influencer, if you met somebody that you could, walk around with all the time, a celebrity, how many people would you introduce that person to? Would it feel weird? No. And that's what I want you to do. You have a gift that you're sharing with people. So make the offer, but the offer is a solution to a problem that they already raised their hand and said, you know what, I have this problem. So since it's just me tonight and I'm doing a little bit of training, Helen, thank you for jumping on. It says, very useful, those scripts. I've translated them into Kiwi. I'm in New Zealand. Thank you. We have people from New Zealand. We have people from this side of the pond, that side of the pond, all over the U.S. on these lives. So excited for all of you guys to be here. And again, big token of gratitude for all the people that show up. And if you're catching this on the replay, hashtag replay. If you're catching this live, make sure you hashtag live. And I'm actually going to close this out. But what I would suggest you do, here's my call to action. What I would suggest you do is the training that's inside the comments. It's Helen dropped it. It's facebook.com/a bunch of numbers and then video and then a bunch more numbers. Go ahead and click on that and check out Fabian's video. He walks you through the whole thing, the whole 5 steps with different things that you can, like different examples that you can go to. But I would suggest going back to that training and going through that. So with that being said, I'm gonna cut off and we're going live on Friday. So make sure you catch us live on Friday. We're gonna do a Friday training. We're invite everybody to this training. It's win the week on Friday. So we do start the week on Monday, or get your goals and start the week on Monday, and then on Friday we bookend that. So make sure you catch us live 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to go live for a little while on our coaching calls, just so everyone in this group sees exactly what kind of value that we have on our coaching calls. So that being said, thank you for tuning in, guys. I appreciate you. Eric Sablon from Anchorage, Alaska, part of the Clever Moneymakers, and we will see you guys on the next Ask Me Anything.